No man in recent history has achieved such a feat without unleashing a global catastrophe. His figure rises. His name transcends languages and borders. Israel acclaims him. The sky is torn asunder like never before. It's the 21st century. Israel is embroiled in a violent and protracted conflict against Palestine and a coalition of Arab nations. Sirens wail relentlessly, drones buzz over cities, and desperate prayers mingle with the roar of missiles. The entire world holds its breath. The powers convene again and again, unable to end the chaos. And it is then, right in the midst of that disorder, when hope seems to fade, that something astonishing and deeply disturbing is about to happen. It's a moonless night. The clouds, dense and stormy, twist over the city as if hiding invisible presences. Lightning flashes across the skies without dropping a single drop of rain. In an elegant but discreet house in the ultra-Orthodox neighborhood of Mea Shearim, Miriam Abbat struggles through contractions, assisted by an elderly midwife with trembling but wise hands. Her husband, Zebedee ben Nur, a deeply respected rabbi and direct descendant of the tribe of Judah, prays with fervent intensity. He recites psalms with such passion that he seems to attempt to tear the very veil between heaven and earth. And it is there, in that sacred and haunting setting, that Miriam Abbat brings her son into the world, a child who doesn't cry when he's born. Instead, he opens his eyes. Those present are transfixed. They have never seen such a gaze, so sweet, so serene, so deeply enveloping. His beauty is breathtaking. His face seems carved by the hand of heaven itself. An inexplicable calm fills the room when you look at him. The child is named Adiel, a Hebrew name meaning God is just. Social media doesn't mention it, nor do newspapers. His birth goes unnoticed. But in the spiritual world, this night marks the beginning of the greatest deception humanity will ever know. Because this child, born into a Torah-fearing family, amidst the ashes of an endless war, is not destined to be a savior, but a usurper. Adiel grew up surrounded by profound wisdom. Before he was 10, he had mastered Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, English, Spanish, Arabic, and a wide variety of other languages. From a very early age, he immersed himself fervently in the study of the Talmud, Kabbalistic texts, and the ancient speeches of Israel's prophets. He is taught by the most prominent scholars of contemporary Judaism, and carefully protected by elite circles who consider him an unprecedented prodigy. Since his adolescence, Adiel has aroused admiration wherever he goes. His intelligence seems superhuman. His charisma has an almost hypnotic effect, and he possesses a strange and powerful ability to reconcile people of completely opposing ideologies. His mere presence unites the irreconcilable. No one can explain how he does it. They only know that before him, a profound admiration arises that is difficult to ignore. Every Saturday, his parents devoutly take him to the Western Wall. They present him as a model of purity, a young man devoted to the Torah. The elders of the modern Sanhedrin look at him with solemn respect, as if they sensed in him a sacred spark. When he turns 13 and celebrates his bar mitzvah, he stands to read the Torah before the congregation, and his words are so moving that they bring tears to even the most hardened hearts. But just as he is reading, a clap of thunder shakes the heavens, even though the sky is completely clear. Some interpret it as a heavenly sign, a gesture of divine approval, but no one understands that it's not a blessing, but a warning, an echo of the approaching judgment. And so the days go by. Meanwhile, the conflict between Israel and the Arab nations escalates with unstoppable fury. Tensions are constant, borders are burning, and diplomacy seems dead. In the midst of this hostile climate, Jerusalem's most influential rabbis raise their voices with clamor. They demand the construction of the long-awaited Third Temple. With deep conviction and tears in their eyes, they attempt to enter the Temple Mount, the sacred site where the first two temples of Solomon and Zerubbabel stood. But the response of the Muslim world is immediate and violent. Massive riots erupt. The sacred mountain once again becomes a battlefield, a symbol of a war that is not only political, but spiritual. It is then that Adiel, contemplating the chaos and bloodshed, secretly says to himself, "I will be the one to build the third temple. I will bring peace." And with that thought burning like fire inside him, he begins to plot his ascent. His first step was to join the Israeli army. He served there for several years, quickly distinguishing himself with his strategic brilliance, his combat composure, and his innate charisma. He is admired by both his superiors and his soldiers. He is decorated multiple times, and his name begins to resonate beyond the barracks, crossing the boundaries of the military into the spheres of power. Adiel's popularity, carefully cultivated over the years, opens the doors to the national political scene for him. At 30, he becomes the youngest member of Israel's political establishment. He has yet to lead the nation, but he moves easily among the most influential figures in power, like a fish in water. Everyone looks at him with respect. But in the spiritual world, an event is about to shake the world and change the course of history forever: the rapture of the church. In the blink of an eye, millions of faithful Christians disappear from the face of the earth. Entire families are torn apart. Planes fall from the sky. Cars crash out of control. Offices and schools are left empty. The world is descending into unprecedented chaos. Desperation takes hold in the streets. Science has no explanation. Governments remain silent. The media speculates, but no one knows what happened. It's as if a divine veil were torn and humanity was left behind. Israel, which has so far managed to hold on despite the conflict, is being hit hard. Uncertainty grips its people. Rabbis seek answers. Politicians debate aimlessly. The people demand direction, but no voice can calm the storm. It is in this very context of confusion and anguish that Adiel emerges in all his splendor. With his usual charisma and seemingly supernatural eloquence, he addresses the nation with words of peace, hope, and reconstruction. His enveloping and serene message captivated the Jewish people. Within days, and with no alternative available, he was proclaimed supreme leader of Israel. The crowds cheer him on. The newscasts declare him the man of the moment. But behind that brilliant smile lies the beginning of the great deception. Alongside Adiel, another character emerges. An elderly man with a solemn face and a white beard, a Torah scholar known in rabbinic circles for his mystical knowledge and ability to move crowds. His name, Azariah ben Shaul. In the eyes of the people, he is a spiritual beacon, a revered counselor. But in truth, he is the false prophet, the instrument that prepares Israel's heart to receive Adiel as the anointed one. Azariah does not hesitate to publicly support Adiel. He presents him as a chosen man, the peacemaker promised by the prophets. Through stirring speeches and subtle manipulations of scripture, he begins to persuade the nation that Adiel is God's answer to their troubled times. And so, as soon as Adiel assumes leadership, he begins to perform great feats. His gaze immediately turns to the heart of the nation, the Temple Mount.
Super duper.
With astuteness and impeccable diplomacy, he organizes historic meetings with Arab leaders from neighboring countries. At first, the proposal to cede control of the mount for the reconstruction of the temple was firmly rejected. The site was too sacred for the Islamic world. The wounds ran deep. The conflict seemed insoluble. But Adil doesn't budge. He promises peace. He promises stability. He promises a future of shared prosperity. His words are sweet as honey, and his influence irresistible. Arab leaders, under international pressure and the promise of a new regional pact, sign a historic peace agreement with Israel. And so, for the first time in over 2,000 years, Israel is officially allowed to rebuild its temple on the Holy Mount. The crowds celebrate, the rabbis dance, the media announce a new golden age. But in the spiritual world, the trumpets of judgment begin to sound. Because what is peace for men? For heaven is only the prelude to the Great Tribulation. Now, with official approval for the reconstruction of the Third Temple, a scene never before imagined begins to take shape before the eyes of the world. Cameras from all nations focus on Jerusalem. Helicopters hover over the Temple Mount. The tension is palpable, and the awe inevitable. Large machinery escorted by soldiers and specialized technicians enters the sacred mountain amidst chants, tears, and meticulous surveillance. Dust rises, metal creaks, and history trembles. And then the unthinkable happens. Before the astonished gaze of millions, the mosques that had stood on that site for centuries, the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa, are demolished one by one with surgical precision. There is no revolt, there is no war, there is no resistance. As if an invisible hand had silenced all opposition, what for generations was considered impossible now happens in a matter of hours. The world is stunned. World leaders remain silent. Social media explodes. No one can stop him, because no one can. Adiel has done it. No man in recent history has achieved such a feat without unleashing a global catastrophe. His figure rises. His name transcends languages and borders. Israel acclaims him. Nations admire him. Even his adversaries respect him. And as the machinery clears the rubble of the past, a new structure begins to take shape. The Third Temple of Jerusalem. Day after day, the foundations are raised as if invisible hands were accelerating the work. Architects and workers work with unusual precision. Everything moves forward at a speed that defies logic. In just a few months, the structure is finished, tall, majestic, immaculate, covered in gold, white stone, and sacred symbols. It is a modern replica of Solomon's temple, rebuilt not only by human hands, but with an ambition that has transcended generations. And the day of the inauguration arrives. Crowds fill Jerusalem. The streets rejoice. The rabbis intone psalms with trembling voices. Animals are sacrificed according to the ancient Levitical rite. Incense ascends to heaven. Trumpets sound. All of Israel bursts into celebration. There is dancing. There are tears. There is fire. There is celebration. The eyes of the nation are upon Adiel. They see him as the living fulfillment of Isaiah, Zechariah, and Ezekiel. They acclaim him as the promised Messiah. Children bless him. The elderly weep. Women call him Redeemer. A unified cry rises from the crowd. The Messiah has come. God has restored his temple. And so, under a sky filled with emotion and song, Adiel is officially proclaimed the Messiah of Israel. The people embrace him without resistance. The media celebrates him. Religious authorities exalt him. And then, in the midst of the ceremony, the figure of Azariah ben Shaul, the elderly rabbi, the revered teacher, the false prophet, rises. With a trembling but firm voice, Azariah raises his hand before the crowd and solemnly declares, "This is the true Messiah of Israel, the final fulfillment of all the prophecies. Jesus of Nazareth was an impostor. He didn't fulfill the scriptures. He was rejected because he should have been, but Adiel is the promise made flesh." A shout of joy pierces the square. The crowd bursts into applause and tears. Many embrace, others kneel. The rabbis smile at each other, and the Jewish people, in a mixture of joy and vindication, say to themselves, "We always knew it. Jesus was a false Messiah. Now time has proven us right. Adiel is God's chosen one." But the echo of those words, though clothed in emotion, resounds like blasphemy in the heavens. As Israel celebrates, the world watches in awe. International leaders, political analysts, the media. Everyone bows before the man who has accomplished the impossible, uniting religions, bringing peace to the Middle East, rebuilding the Temple of Jerusalem without war. Global attention is focused on him. An official invitation arrives from Brussels, the political capital of Europe. The headquarters of the European Union opens its doors to Adiel, the man of the moment, the peacemaker of Jerusalem. He is received with state honors. The flags of nations line his path, and cameras from around the world broadcast live. In the Great Hall of the European Parliament, diplomats, presidents, kings, and heads of state watch him expectantly. The murmur dies down as he takes the stage. The silence turns to reverence. Adiel raises his gaze. His bearing conveys authority, serenity, and destiny. And then he begins to speak, with a voice that not only fills the room, but seems to penetrate hearts. Distinguished leaders of the world, we are gathered here at a pivotal moment in human history. There is no nation untouched by tragedy. The mass disappearances that have shaken the earth cannot be ignored. Mothers without children, empty offices, planes without pilots. Streets stopped in an instant, millions of human beings torn from their homes. I know your people demand answers. I know you yourselves are seeking them. He pauses. The tension is palpable. Today, I come to share with you a truth that not everyone is ready to hear. What happened was not a punishment, nor an act of war. It was a higher intervention, a planetary cleansing operation carried out by cosmic entities that have monitored humanity's development for centuries. They have removed those who, according to them, were impeding the spiritual and global evolution of our species. The world is shaking. What you call abduction was nothing more than assisted migration. Those who disappeared have been taken to a different place, a new state, a dimension beyond what we can understand. They were not destroyed. They were set apart for a greater purpose that will be revealed in due time. The faces in the room oscillate between astonishment, confusion, and fascination. Adiel continues without hesitation.
Breaking news, folks. The Democrats are trying to tank Trump's approval ratings. We're running a quick poll on Trump's second term, and if you take the poll, we will send you a free Trump.
But we are not alone. We have not been abandoned. This is a new beginning, a time of restoration, of unity, of rebuilding. Wars will cease. Hatred will be eradicated. Religions will be able to converge under a single message: peace. A new world is being born, and I commit myself, with each of you, to guide that birth toward the light. His words flow like a river of gold. The cameras show him in close-up. The world listens. Some weep, some applaud. In the heart of Europe, Adiel not only calms fears, he redefines them. I offer you a new global order where no nation is left behind, where justice is true, where the economy is stabilized, where borders are bridges, not walls. Trust me, not to dominate you, but to lead you. And then, in an unprecedented act, representatives from various nations, from the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa, stand up one after another to proclaim their support. They call him Guide, Reformer, Father of the New Humanity. In less than an hour, Adiel is proclaimed the first global ruler in history. He no longer represents only Israel. He now leads all the nations of the world. As a god in human form, he begins to work wonders. In a matter of months, peace treaties that once seemed impossible are signed. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine dissolves. Tensions in East Asia subside. In the Middle East, where for centuries blood was the dominant language, peace blossoms like an unexpected garden. Borders open, the global economy stabilizes, hunger declines, poverty decreases. Adiel promotes a new economic system based on digital equity, backed by a global currency that promises to eliminate financial corruption. Its technology integrates governments, banks, and citizens into a unified network. It's fast, it's brilliant, and it's irresistible. The world feels reborn. Nations celebrate his leadership. Crowds fill squares to hear his speeches. Schools, universities, and cultural centers teach his principles as the doctrine of a new era. The entire planet seems to have awakened to a new light. But the most surprising thing isn't what he does with politics, but what he achieves with faith. For the first time in history, all religions are in agreement. Spiritual leaders from East and West, North and South, agree on an unprecedented point. Adiel is who they had hoped for. Each religion sees in him the reflection of its most sacred prophecy. Muslims call him the Mahdi, the hidden guide who was to appear in the final days to establish justice. Islamic communities acclaim him from minarets and bless him at every prayer. Hinduism recognizes him as Kalki, the final avatar of Vishnu, who came to destroy darkness and establish truth. In India, millions celebrate him as the embodiment of a cosmic restoration. Buddhism identifies him as Maitreya, the future Buddha, the one who would come to teach the path of universal compassion. In temples and monasteries, his face is painted in golden frescoes and surrounded by incense. Even esoteric groups and New Age movements venerate him as the great illuminator, the bearer of supreme consciousness. They speak of cosmic vibrations, stellar alignments, restored energies, all thanks to him. The synagogues call him the Messiah, the mosques, the messenger, the temples, the avatar, and they all believe they are right. Freedom of worship is universally proclaimed. Under his rule, all religions can practice without persecution. Humanity believes it has reached its peak. Science advances, diseases are receding, conflicts are disappearing, cities are becoming more beautiful. The planet is entering a period of unprecedented prosperity. But that peace, so brilliant, so enveloping, so perfect, is about to be shattered. And then, the unthinkable happens. During a world tour, Adiel decides to give an open-air speech in one of the busiest central squares in Europe. The crowd gathers as usual, flags wave, children greet him, and leaders accompany him. The atmosphere is celebratory, as if all of humanity has conquered its own paradise. But suddenly, a shot. A single thunderous crack cuts through the air. Adiel falls to the ground, chaos erupts, his body remains motionless. Blood stains the marble, cameras shake, nets explode, sirens wail. Humanity falls silent. Adiel has been killed.
How Gen X are getting their teenage bodies back. So this is my mom and this is my grandma. I recently posted a picture of the three of us and people were shocked. They are demanding to know your secrets. So what are they? Is it some new trendy diet?
Nope. I love going out to eat too much.
It's confirmed. An unidentified sniper has achieved the impossible, and the world collapses. The streets are filled with mourning. Millions are crying across the planet. There are vigils, processions, tributes. In Jerusalem, the rabbis cover themselves with ashes. The Jewish people enter into a national upheaval. The temple closes its doors. The lamps go out. The sound of the shofar becomes an echo of lament. And in the midst of the mourning, some rabbis murmur through tears. One of them, his voice breaking, reads aloud the prophecy of Daniel, which they believe has finally been fulfilled. And after the 62 weeks, the Messiah will be cut off. "It was him," one cries. "The Messiah is dead." And so, convinced that Adiel is the prophesied anointed one, confusion and sadness mix with a false certainty. The entire world stops to mourn. The man who, unbeknownst to him, is the greatest imposter in history. His body is placed in a glass coffin. Global security tightens. News networks broadcast his funeral live. Religions halt their rituals. Cities fall silent. A new chaos threatens to devastate what had seemed solid. But then, on the third day, something happens. In the middle of the funeral, Adil's body begins to move. The cameras focus in despair. The world watches in disbelief. His skin glows, his eyes open. Adiel rises from the coffin, alive, transformed. The cry of astonishment is heard on all 5 continents. Crowds fall to their knees, some faint, others flee, but the majority adore him. His face is no longer the same. There's something else about him, a shadowy glow, a terrifying authority, a presence that is neither human nor divine, but profoundly supernatural. And then Azariah ben Shaul, the false prophet, reappears with a powerful voice and a fiery gaze. He raises his hands before the nations and shouts, "This is not just the Messiah. This is God incarnate, the Most High among us. He who conquered death rules over all creation. Worship him." And the world obeys. That same day, religious freedom is abolished. Any belief that doesn't have Adiel as its sole god is deemed illegal. A worldwide decree is issued. There will be only one cult, only one image, only one name. But the most shocking thing is about to happen. In the midst of this global euphoria, Adiel turns his gaze toward the third temple in Jerusalem. That work he himself managed to erect with diplomacy and cunning, the place the Jews had hoped to rebuild for centuries. The temple that was reborn as a symbol of redemption will now be desecrated. With an international escort and cameras broadcasting live to the entire world, Adiel passes through the gates of the holy place. The priests, still faithful to the ancient rituals, bravely intervene. But they are executed in cold blood before the eyes of the world. The incense goes out, the offerings cease, the altar is removed. The continual sacrifice has been interrupted, just as the prophet Daniel warned. For 1 week that ruler will make a covenant with many, but in the middle of the week he will put an end to the sacrifices and offerings, and in the temple he will set up the abomination that causes destruction. At that moment, Adiel orders a throne to be erected in the center of the temple, in the place where only the name of the Most High God should reside. A golden throne surrounded by dark symbols, inscriptions declaring his divinity, and without hesitation, he sits down. The scene is terrifying. What many called the Man of Peace now sits in the holy place, proclaiming himself the only one worthy of worship, just as the Apostle Paul warned. He will exalt himself and oppose everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of God and claim that he is God. But something even more terrifying is about to happen. Adiel orders a statue of himself to be erected inside the temple. It's colossal, imposing, made of gold and fire. Its face is identical to his own, and its expression full of arrogance. The world's cameras focus in amazement, and in a moment that seems like something out of a nightmare, Azariah ben Shaul, the false prophet, raises his hands to heaven, and the statue comes to life. The image begins to speak in a loud voice, ordering the death of anyone who does not bow down and worship Adiel. The temple doors close. Armed guards surround it. The crowds outside listen in horror to the metallic, unearthly voice emanating from the image. And that's when the eyes of the people of Israel are fully opened. The priests retreat. The rabbis scream in terror. Many tear their clothes. "He has deceived us," they cry. "This is not the Messiah. This is the impostor, the desolator." The temple fills with weeping and despair. The older generations, shaken, recall the bitter past when Antiochus Epiphanes placed a statue of Zeus in the same place centuries before. "The same abomination," they whisper, again. Desperate, they rush to consult the Torah. They search through the ancient scrolls, and their eyes fall upon a forgotten warning. "And forces will arise from him, and will defile the sanctuary and the fortress, and will take away the daily sacrifice, and set up the abomination of desolation." And then an elderly rabbi, trembling, his voice breaking from tears, exclaims, "Jesus! Jesus spoke of this too. He warned us, he told us, when you see standing in the holy place the abomination of desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." Silence falls upon those present. The wisest, those who had resisted accepting Jesus, now understand everything. The pain is unbearable. Guilt consumes them. "Jesus was the true Messiah," one cries, "and we rejected him." The faithful remnant, that group who sincerely longed for the true Messiah, steadfastly refuses to bow before the image of Adiel. They now know the truth, and their refusal provokes the fury of the Antichrist. Adiel, transformed into the revealed beast, unleashes an unprecedented persecution against the people who had crowned him as their Messiah. The wrath of the false god falls with all its weight upon Israel. The cities once filled with light become hunting grounds. This causes the faithful remnant to begin to flee, fulfilling Jesus' word. Those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, leave their homes, their clothes, their possessions. Fathers carry their children. Elderly mothers walk with bleeding feet. Rabbis, young men, children, and pregnant women leave Jerusalem, descending the valleys and climbing the rocks of the Judean desert with tears in their eyes and the Torah in their chests. They're not seeking political refuge. They're not seeking weapons. They're seeking the God they've rediscovered, the Messiah who was rejected, and whom they now cry out in pain, Yeshua, the Messiah. Jesus, the true Messiah. Meanwhile, the media declares the fugitives, extremists, enemies of the global order. Images of the remnant are broadcast as if they were spiritual terrorists. A reward is offered for their capture. Some are found, some die. Others are hidden by the hand of God. And in the caves of the desert, in the depths of the mountains, under the shadow of palm trees and sun-scorched rocks, the remnant begins to pray, to cry out, to sing ancient psalms that they now understand with new eyes. I will lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven.
Hey Siri, read my message.
Ashley sent a TikTok link. TikTok Clip Center. Would you like to reply?
No.
That's everything.
Dial number again. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who is this a prank? Who is this? This ain't Coach Belichick. He hangs up on me again. Randy, please hold on, Randy, before you hang up. Hang up. Hold on, we just traded for you. He goes, what do you mean? Just yeah, he goes, really? All right. All right. I said, look, you got to get up here tomorrow. We got to redo your contract. Got to take a physical, and we got it all done by noon. He goes, I'm in Houston. I said, well, what do you want to do? He goes, I'll be there. 9 o'clock. He's there. Gets a plane, gets up there, comes in there at 9 o'clock, takes physical, does the contract, and it's all done by noon. We make the trade. Randy said, all right, look, where's the playbook? I said, yeah, we'll get you one. I mean, we signed 5 minutes ago. I said, yeah, we'll get you one, no problem. He goes, yeah, because when I got out there with Brady in the first team, I ain't going to make a bunch of mental errors. I want to know what the plays are. I want to know the checks. I want to know the signals. I want to know everything. So I'm not going to go out there and look like some dummy, all right, with Brady at quarterback and like this guy don't know what to do. I said, look, when we get this post-safety coverage, he goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any more post-safety coverage. You can forget about post-safety coverage. I said, well, Randy, we just see, he goes, Coach, you ain't going to see no more post-safety coverage. Okay, I'm just telling you. I'm like, all right. I've never been fast, okay? I don't know what it's like to be fast. If I'm running, they catch me. If you're running, I can't catch them. Okay, I don't know what fast is. What do you do when you're the fastest guy on the field? He goes, Coach, you just give me some room and I will go. I said, can you beat the free safety across? He goes, well, if I can, I will, but if I can't, I'll break it back here. He goes, give me an option. He goes, I can attack the deep part of the field. Put me in the slot. I'm like, you want to go in the slot? He goes, yeah, because they can't stop me in the slot. He goes, I ain't going over the middle on a little 2-yard hook route. I'm not doing that. But if you want me to go deep, I can attack the middle of the field from the slot. And so Randy taught me how a fast receiver can attack the defense, because we never had anybody like him. And 23 touchdowns or whatever it was. And so I learned so much from Randy about how a fast player can attack the defense.
Hey Siri, message to Ashley.
What do you want to say to Ashley?
Thank you for that one. I love that Bill Belichick and Randy Moss.
Here's what I heard. Thank you for that one. I love that Bill Belichick and Brandy Moss. Do you want to change it or send it?
Send.
Done.
And earth. And as the world surrenders to the beast, as the temple continues its blasphemous ritual, the remnant of Israel becomes light in the midst of darkness. The Antichrist has unleashed his fury.
Hey Siri, read my message.
Ashley said they play for the New York Yankees, right? Would you like to reply?
Yeah, the New York Patriots.
Send it. The New York Patriots.
The persecution has begun. The darkness continues unabated. It only intensifies. With his throne established in the third temple and his image worshipped in every corner of the planet, the Antichrist takes the next step in his hellish agenda: absolute control of humanity. A new global economic system.
Hey Siri, read my message.
Ashley said, what the hell is New York Patriots, LOL? Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say to Ashley?
You said the New York Yankees, I said the New York Patriots instead of the New England Patriots coach.
system is emerging. Banks are collapsing, currencies are disappearing, stock markets are closing amid shouts and red ink. The financial crisis is complete. Hunger strikes like an unstoppable horseman. Factories grind to a halt. Supply chains are disrupted. Stores are emptied. The markets are transformed into ruins. And in the midst of the chaos, the false prophet Azariah ben Shaul presents the nations with a supposed heavenly solution, a sacred technology, a mark of obedience, of citizenship, of loyalty. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, so that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And so the prophecy is fulfilled. Lines lengthen at global registration centers. Food is offered in exchange for submission. Rations, housing, and services are provided only to the marked. Many welcome the mark with enthusiasm. They say, "Our Savior is watching over us." The new order is just, "It's for the common good." Others accept it with tears, but also with hunger. Mothers without milk, fathers who can no longer feed their children, elderly people alone, orphaned children. The pain of an empty pot becomes a demon that twists consciences. But there is a group that refuses, that won't budge, that won't bow, a remnant among the nations. From remote villages to capitals filled with idolatrous propaganda, men and women from every nation, tribe, and language are opening their spiritual eyes. They repent. They are broken. They confess with tears. Jesus is the true Messiah. They are the new converts. They were not raptured, but they believed during the Great Tribulation. Former Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Jews, lukewarm Christians, Catholics, atheists, young, old. The Spirit has touched their hearts, and now they walk as living martyrs. They don't seek fame. They don't seek land. They only seek the crucified King. But their faith comes at a price. The Antichrist's system marks them as threats. Facial recognition cameras track them. Neighbors report them for not having the tag. Entire families are arrested, and then the horror begins. The squares become scenes of bloodshed. In Buenos Aires, a young nurse is dragged from her home. "Just put the mark on yourself and you'll see your family again," an officer pleads. She, between sobs, answers in a firm voice, "I already have a mark. It was the blood of the Lamb." And before the crowd, her head is cut off. In Cairo, a group of Christian converts is gathered at a traffic circle. They are offered bread, water, and a new digital identity. "Just deny Jesus and all this will be yours," they say. A white-haired old man steps forward and with a fiery gaze proclaims, "My citizenship is in heaven. My king has already won." They are publicly shot. In South Korea, a mother holding a baby is caught in a raid. A soldier tells her, "You just have to scan your hand, or your child will starve to death." The woman falls to her knees, hugs her baby, and whispers, "Jesus will feed him up there." Both are executed. In Nigeria, an entire community of tribal believers is locked inside an abandoned school. They are offered the mark as a ticket to a better life, but they, singing hymns in their native language, praise God until the fire consumes the building. In France, a young university student who recently accepted Christ is brought before a live camera. "Tell us that Adiel is God," the commander demands. She smiles and quotes, "There is only one name given among men by which we must be saved." and that name is Jesus Christ. The electric chair is turned on. In China, a 12-year-old girl is caught with a Bible hidden in her backpack. She's interrogated, she's threatened, but all she says is, "My favorite book is Revelation because Jesus wins." She's killed. In the United States, believers who do not kneel before the image of Adiel are taken to stadiums converted into public courts. One of them shouts before thousands, "I will not worship a beast, for I have seen the glory of the Son of Man." A gunshot silences his voice, but not his testimony. They know this land is not their home. They know the promise, "Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life." On the other hand, seeing that thousands of believers choose to die for Jesus Christ rather than surrender to his government, the Antichrist rises up, filled with fury. His hatred is not only against Christians, but against the very promise of God. He wants to show that the Almighty lied, for it is written that Israel will never cease to be a nation before him. In his blasphemous madness, consumed by hatred and possessed by the spirit of the dragon, the Antichrist vows to wipe Israel off the map, extinguish its existence, silence its hope, and make the name of the chosen people disappear forever from the face of the earth. A global network is convened. Screens on every continent light up. The face of the Antichrist appears, shrouded in golden shadows and fireworks. His voice resounds like demonic thunder. And then he declares to the entire world, "Mighty ones of the earth, masters of arms, architects of the new world, today I have summoned you because the time has come to seal our eternal dominion. For centuries we have endured the arrogance of the Almighty. For generations we have been slaves to his morals, his rules, his prophecies. They called us heretics. They called us reprobates. They humiliated us with their ancient texts. But look at me now. I have risen from the dead. Death could not hold me. I am the new order, the new beginning, the new God. Where is your so-called Messiah? Where is that crucified Nazarene? His kingdom is over. His promise has failed." But Israel still breathes. That miserable people, stubborn, archaic, rebellious, still holds out hope in a heavenly Redeemer. Today, that hope will die. Today, together with you, we will strike the final blow. We will gather our forces in the valley of Megiddo. We will crush the remnant like dust beneath our feet. We will wipe Israel off the map and drag the name of Yahweh through the mud. And when the last Jew breathes his last, when the last Christian kneels before me or falls beheaded, then the world will know me not only as King, but as the Eternal One. I am who is. I am the one who rules. I am God. The nations burst into applause upon hearing this speech. The leaders stood up and swore absolute loyalty. Meanwhile, the false prophet Azariah ben Shaul raised his staff and pronounced a blasphemous blessing. O nations of the earth, your living God has spoken. He has given his command. And now I give you a divine sign, so that you may not doubt, so that you may obey, so that you may serve him until your last breath. Then he raises his staff to the sky. The air is cut, the wind stops, the skies suddenly darken, and a flash of lightning descends like a spear of fiery anger. Fire, real fire descends from heaven. It's not an illusion. It's not technology. It's not a spectacle. It's a supernatural manifestation. A column of incandescent flames falls on a nearby mountain, causing it to explode like a volcanic eruption. The fire devours trees, rocks, and earth, leaving behind a smoking crater as if hell had touched the earth. The world's leaders fall to the ground in worship. Some weep, others tremble. All shout in unison, "Glory to the living one! Glory to Adiel, Lord of the earth! Our God has spoken with fire." Azariah raises his arms and exclaims, "And now, O nations, gather together as one flesh. Go up to the valley of Megiddo. Take your swords, your tanks, your armies, your souls. For the blood of the remnant will be the seal of the new age, and the end of the eternal covenant with Israel will be the beginning of our eternity." And the whole world is marching toward its end. From the four corners of the earth, nations are responding to the call of the Antichrist. The skies fill with fighter jets. The seas turn black with warships. Satellites point to the Middle East. Missiles are being prepared. Nations are mobilizing. The dragon, the beast, and the false prophet opened their mouths, and unclean spirits like frogs came out to deceive the kings of the earth, to gather them for battle on the great day of God Almighty. The whole world trembles. From the darkness of the east, the great Euphrates River miraculously dries up, as the ancient prophecies foretold, making way for a colossal army. They are the kings of the east. China, with its inhuman power, mobilizes millions of soldiers, combat robots, and swarms of drones. North Korea marches forward with long-range missiles. India, Pakistan, and Iran join the offensive, forming a wave of steel and fire advancing toward the heart of Israel. From Europe, Germany deploys its most advanced war technology. France sends hypersonic fighters, while Spain, Portugal, Italy, Belgium, Poland, Sweden, Greece, and many other European nations are handing over their troops, armored vehicles, submarines, and heavy artillery to the service of the Antichrist. Their uniforms no longer bear national flags, only the mark of the beast. From the north, the giant awakens. Russia, cold, calculating, imposing, responds with its customary brutality. Its tanks cross the frozen fields. Its hypersonic missiles cross the skies in formation. Its soldiers march with a firm step, under orders to destroy without mercy. In the Middle East, former rivals are now allies. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, and the Emirates are mobilizing together. It no longer matters whether they are Shiites or Sunnis. The only thing they share now is a common hatred of Israel. A hatred that consumes entire cities, that fills war trains, that summons thousands of fighters under a single slogan: annihilate the people who still believe in the God of Abraham. From America, the skies are also darkening. The United States, now enslaved to the new system, is surrendering its aircraft carriers, its air fleet, its digital army, and its nuclear weapons. Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia. The nations of the New World march in line, not for freedom, but for destruction. Meanwhile, from Africa, a voice is also rising. Nigeria, South Africa, Morocco, Ethiopia, Sudan, Algeria, and many more raise their banners, not for justice, but for greed, for domination, for obedience to the false god who sits in the Temple of Jerusalem. Satellites spy from space. The world's screens broadcast the global march. Dust rises in the Holy Lands, and everyone is moving toward the same point, the Valley of Megiddo. And so, within a few weeks, the Jezreel Valley in the Megiddo region begins to fill. The largest army ever assembled in human history rises like a global storm. The sacred fields of Israel, once home to wheat and olives, are now trampled by tanks, mechanical beasts, artillery, and blood.
10 of
Tents,
spades.
mobile fortresses, surveillance towers, and radars are being erected. Drones cover the skies like electronic vultures. Voices fade. The
10
air is
of
thick.
hearts.
The smell of death and gunpowder fills Jerusalem. And then, the words of
9
the
of
prophet
clubs.
Zechariah come alive. A prophecy that for centuries was ignored now resounds in the ears of the faithful. Behold,
King
the day of
of
the Lord is
clubs.
coming, and your spoils will be divided among you. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle.
King of hearts.
Jerusalem is besieged. Israel is surrounded. The chosen people are on the brink of extinction. And the
Queen
Antichrist
of spades.
watches everything from a hellish vantage point. At his feet, the war
Queen
maps.
of clubs.
Around him, the generals of the nations. And in his heart, a blasphemous and perverse declaration.
Queen of hearts.
God has lost. He looks up to heaven with pride, raises his arm and exclaims, "Where is the
8 of
God of
hearts.
Abraham? Where is the crucified Nazarene? Look, his people are about to fall. His promises have failed.
of
I
diamonds.
am the victor. I am the eternal one. I am the new God of this world."
9 of
The
diamonds.
crowds cheer him, nations applaud him, cameras broadcast him, and hell applauds too. But as the
6
soldiers
of
of the
clubs.
Antichrist advance, and the roar of the war machine reverberates over the rubble of the temple,
7
the people of
hearts.
Israel break. There are no more speeches, there are no more excuses,
Queen
only
of
tears,
diamonds.
only screams, only despair. The children hug their
8
mothers.
of clubs.
The elders beat their chests. The rabbis weep with
Good
the open
decision.
Torah in their hands. And the name they never wanted to pronounce
5
is now
of
the only
spades.
one that escapes their lips. Yeshua, Yeshua, save us. Jesus,
6
forgive
of
us.
clubs.
We didn't know what we were doing. Come back, save us from the destroyer. You are our king. The weight of centuries falls upon their shoulders. The words of the prophets, once ignored, now burn on their lips. And in that instant, like a divine revelation, their hearts break and their eyes open. Then the prophecy of Zechariah is fulfilled. And I will pour out upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications. And they will look upon me, whom they have pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only son, and they will grieve for him as one grieves for a firstborn. And for the first time in its history, Israel cries out with one voice for the true Savior. The world believes it is witnessing its destruction, but in reality, it is witnessing its redemption. From the
King
broken
of
streets
hearts.
to the hills surrounding the city, the entire people, elderly, children, wounded soldiers, grief-stricken
Queen
mothers,
of diamonds.
raise their voices in a single unanimous cry. O Lord, save us now, I pray you, O Lord. Make us
10
prosper
of
now.
spades.
Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And in that instant, the heavens are rent like a celestial curtain, and an
King of
eternal glow
spades.
pierces the black clouds of war.
10
Pure
of
light, white
diamonds.
as eternity, floods the world. And Jesus appears, riding on a white horse. His eyes are
King
like
of
flames
hearts.
of fire, wearing a crown of many diadems. And on his thigh is written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Around him, countless heavenly armies accompany him. The glorified saints, the mighty angels, the redeemed of all nations, clothed in fine linen, white and dazzling. The air trembles. Instruments of war rust before his gaze. The whole world is shaken. And then the word he had spoken is fulfilled. For I say to you,
Queen
you
of
will not
clubs.
see me from now on until you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
6 of spades.
Israel sees him. Israel recognizes him. Israel welcomes him. Hearts of stone melt. Hardened lips now
9 of
confess.
diamonds.
Eyes that denied him now gaze upon him with reverence. Yeshua has returned, not as a lamb, but as a lion.
3 of
Not
clubs.
as a suffering servant, but as a glorious king. And now, the prophecy most feared by the nations and most awaited by the faithful remnant occurs. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives will split in two, eastward and westward, making a very large valley. Half of the mountain will move toward the north, and half toward the south. The Mount of Olives, witness to his ascension and now to his return, trembles and splits in two. The earth splits open. The mountains tremble. Human structures collapse before his glory. The dust bows, and the heavens proclaim his victory. The king has set foot in Jerusalem, and nothing, absolutely nothing, will be as before. The hour of judgment has arrived. The nations tremble, and so does the Antichrist. From his headquarters in Megiddo, he sees the glory of the Son of Man spread across the heavens. His face pales, his gaze a mixture of fury and terror. The sensors, the radars, the latest generation missiles are all aimed at the mountain. And in his final madness, he orders the fire. And then the final attempt at hell breaks loose. Missiles launched into the sky, laser weapons, heavy artillery, hypersonic drones. The most advanced technology ever created by man is unleashed against the King of Glory. But it's all useless. The weapons go out in midair. The missiles disintegrate before they reach it. The explosions make no echo. Nothing can touch the word of God. And while the Antichrist roars with fury, overwhelmed by rage and despair, Jesus Christ simply watches him. He doesn't need to move a hand. He wields no sword forged by man.
Of diamonds.
He only allows his glory to be revealed, and that light alone is enough to consume it completely, thus fulfilling what the Apostle Paul wrote, that the Lord will destroy it with the brightness of his coming. The Antichrist falls. His body, once glorified by the world, melts before eternal holiness. His words fade. His power fades. His kingdom collapses. And beside him, the false prophet, the master of deception, the sower of idolatry, is captured alive by the angels of judgment and cast into the lake of fire for all eternity. The armies of the world, seeing them fall, panic. But there is no escape. The sword that comes from Jesus' mouth is unleashed, and one by one, the kings, generals, soldiers, allies of the beast system fall. The valley of Megiddo becomes a river of justice. The Lion of Judah has roared, and no one is left standing. Israel, who had cried out in tears, now gazes in amazement. The one who was crucified is the same one who saved them. The people who wept in despair, the people who cried out, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Swing, now worship with joy and reverence. The battle is over. The enemy has been destroyed. The promise has been fulfilled. Israel is restored. And then Jesus, the slain lamb, the Lion of Judah, sits on his throne in Jerusalem. From that holy city, restored, cleansed, and glorious, the 1,000-year kingdom begins. A kingdom where justice flows like a river, where peace is lasting, and where the church, his redeemed bride, reigns alongside him with power, with honor, and with glory. Amen. Glory to the eternal King.
5 of hearts. 9 of hearts. Queen of spades.
Tonight,
Jack
for the
of
first
hearts.
time, a former senior military intelligence officer comes
Ace
forward
of spades.
to say what we've only imagined is
King
true.
of spades.
You are saying to the human race,
8 of hearts.
for the first time,
9
we are
of
not
spades.
alone.
We're definitely not alone.
Claims that our government has proof of alien life.
We
I
have
bet 4.
spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number. Some are landed, some are crashed.
Allegations of a
I bet
secret
4.
government program that has hidden the truth, the
I bet
technology
3.
from the world.
There's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral, and it's totally frightening.
From Roswell to the present day.
There are non-prosaic cases, 100% unexplainable. I mean, this is like tangible technical craft they're seeing.
Is this decorated officer a liar?
Why should we believe you?
A fool?
Is it possible that you're deluding yourself?
Or a hero?
I'm a patriot, and I believe in truth to power in this.
We're talking about the biggest secret in human history.
We are not alone. The UFO whistleblower speaks.
7 of spades.
Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, here to bring you a News Nation exclusive interview with a man we're calling the UFO whistleblower. David Grush is a career intelligence official who this week is making some bombshell claims of a U.S. government cover-up going back nearly a century. Shedding light, he says, on that existential question.
King of diamonds.
Are we alone? News Nation has confirmed David Grush's credentials and resume. We have not seen or verified the alleged proof he says he's provided to investigators. But we want you to hear his story so you can decide for yourself. Mr. Grush sat down with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who is reporting for News Nation. Mr. Coulthart is an award-winning journalist and author who has reported for the Australian version of 60 Minutes, as well as other news programs in his home country. What you're about to see is part of their conversation, touching on Mr. Grush's work with the UAP task force, his background and his service to this country, and the alleged secret military program about which he says the world needs to know.
Queen of clubs.
For decades, the UFO question has been consigned to the realm of speculation, conspiracy theory, and science fiction. But in recent years, serious people have started taking the subject seriously.
You'll see it come through the top of the screen. There it goes.
Prompted in part by the release of these videos, purporting to show encounters between American naval aviators and what the Pentagon has labeled unidentified aerial or anomalous phenomena. Congress has convened hearings to determine what these UAP are and what threat they might pose.
If UAP do indeed represent a potential threat to our security, then the capabilities, systems, processes, and sources we use to observe, record, study, or analyze these phenomena need to be classified at appropriate levels.
The Department of Defense has established a special team, formerly known as the UAP Task Force, recently renamed the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW, to investigate and identify what are now hundreds of reported sightings. So far, they have not confirmed any of them to constitute proof of alien life. Officially, the government continues to state, we are indeed alone. But now, for the first time, a former member of that official investigative team is speaking out, telling a stunning story that impacts every person on this planet. And now you're about to meet that man for the very first time in this exclusive television interview. Welcome. Have a seat. Maybe start off telling me your name and who you are.
My name is David Grush. You know, I came from a blue-collar family in Pittsburgh. I didn't have the money for college. Always admired people in uniform. And I've always wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. You know, 18 years ago, I got an Air Force scholarship for physics. I originally commissioned on active duty in the Air Force. Served 14 years in the Air Force.
I look at this photograph, Dave, and I see a very proud officer.
I was getting promoted to captain when I was deployed.
And you still love your country, don't you?
Absolutely.
A career intelligence officer, Grush spent time on the ground in Afghanistan and other places he can't mention before rotating back to Washington.
I was an intel officer for the U.S. for 14 years. My last position, which I left in April of 2023, I co-led the UAP portfolio for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and some of the highest officials within the Department of Defense and Intelligence community used to call on me to advise them on some of the hardest target sets that the country had.
You are
Five of
one of the
diamonds.
most trusted former
Seven
intelligence
of
officials in the
diamonds.
US defense and intelligence establishment.
Eight of
Yes,
diamonds.
I was.
You were trusted with the most intimate secrets.
Three of
Yes.
hearts.
And he
Jack
says
of
the most
hearts.
earth-shattering of those secrets were revealed after
Jack of
2019,
spades.
when he was invited to join the UAP
Queen of
task
hearts.
force. You had the security classifications to go anywhere and ask
King
anyone
of diamonds.
anything.
I had, based on my
Ten
formal
of
security
hearts.
clearance and multiple polygraphs, I had the
Four of
ability
diamonds.
to be read into any
Two
program
of
that I
spades.
needed. At one point in time, I was extremely highly cleared.
What
Ace
conclusion
of
did you
clubs.
come to at the end of your
Four
time
of
on the
clubs.
UAP task force?
The UAP
Nine
task force
of
was refused
clubs.
access to
Six of
a
clubs.
broad crash retrieval program.
When you say
Ace
crash
of
retrieval,
spades.
what do you mean?
These are
Nine of
retrieving
diamonds.
non-human origin technical
Ten of
vehicles.
spades.
Call it spacecraft
Nine
if you
of
will.
spades.
Non-human, exotic origin vehicles
Queen
that
of
have either landed or
spades.
crashed.
We have spacecraft
Ten of
from
diamonds.
another species.
We do, yeah.
Seven of
How many?
spades.
Quite a
King
number.
of
You're kidding.
spades.
No. I thought it was
Three of
totally nuts,
clubs.
and I thought at first I was being
Three
deceived.
of
It was a
spades.
ruse. People started confiding in me. They
Eight
approached
of
me.
clubs.
I have plenty of current and former
Seven
senior
of
intelligence
clubs.
officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that
Six
confided in
of
me they were a
hearts.
part of a program. They named the program.
Jack
I've never
of
heard
diamonds.
of it. And they
Five of
told me,
hearts.
based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof,
Seven of
that
hearts.
there was in fact a program that the UAP task force was
Four of
not
hearts.
read into.
You are alleging
Four
that the
of
US government
spades.
has been concealing the existence
of clubs.
on this planet of alien life.
Two of hearts.
I would couch it as non-human intelligence, NHI, like we would like to say in
Eight
our
of
language.
spades.
Why do you say that? Why do you say NHI?
Jack
I don't want to
of
necessarily
clubs.
denote origin. I don't think we have all the
Two
data to
of
say,
clubs.
oh, they're coming from a
King of
certain
clubs.
location, and I couch it as somebody who studied physics where maybe they're
Six
coming
of
from a different
spades.
physical dimension as described in quantum mechanics.
Queen of
We know there's
clubs.
extra dimensions due to
Five of
high
clubs.
energy particle collisions, etc. And there's a theoretical
Eight of
framework to
hearts.
explain that. Yeah.
Just let me cut to the quick though. You're saying there is an intelligent species engaging with this planet.
Yes, that's potentially extraterrestrial. Yeah.
I speak for everybody sitting at
Yeah.
home. That is a shock.
It was to me, and I had a lot of sleepless nights.
Grush says he's never personally seen non-human intelligence, but he's spoken to enough people directly involved in what he calls the program.
With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. Over the years, I've shared that verse more times than I could ever count. But now, for the first time, I know it's true. You see, 6 months ago, something impossible
Queen
did
of
happen
hearts.
down there. In one instant of time, millions of people just disappeared without a trace. Poof, gone just like that. Well, if that's not impossible,
Queen of clubs.
then I don't know what is.
As cleanup efforts continue in the aftermath of the vanishings,
Jack
the single most
of
catastrophic
clubs.
event in all of human history, and security forces work to stem worldwide violence, there's
Eight
still more
of
questions
diamonds.
than answers.
Today, people still say the vanishings came without
Nine
a
of
warning or
hearts.
any kind of explanation. But that's just not true. There were plenty of warnings and explanations.
Seven
But there were
of
also plenty
spades.
of closed minds.
While the president insists that the greatest threat to our country is those clinging
Eight
to the
of
conspiracy
clubs.
theory that somehow God had something to do with the vanishings.
And we all know that a closed mind is not an easy thing to pry open. But even after watching all
Ten
those
of
people just
clubs.
vanish into thin air, most people still had no interest in the fact that all of it was written down thousands
King
of
of
years ago
clubs.
in that dusty old book on the shelf.
It's been 6 months since tens of millions of people
Jack
suddenly
of
disappeared.
clubs.
And as far as we're concerned, none of them have been seen since.
So they hid from the truth mostly,
9 of
dreaming
spades.
of any answer they could think of, as long as it didn't involve
Good
God.
decision.
Of course. Solar flares, secret weapons, little green men.
3 of
Nothing was
spades.
too crazy for a world determined not to see the truth. And of course, one thing you can always count on when
4
disaster
of
strikes.
diamonds.
There are those whose first thought is how to seize the opportunity. For Jonathan Stonegal, well, he seemed to have his plan in place before those empty clothes had even hit the ground.
Now you understand, Mr. Stonegal. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be questioning any of this.
But it is up to you, Ed.
Congratulations!
The board can't interfere with what I'm doing without unanimous consent. You're not here to tell me that you're turning your back on me now, are you, Ed? I've turned hundreds into thousands, thousands into millions, millions into billions, and still, the bean counters think that they know what's best.
We're losing millions of dollars every day now with all of your new projects and investments and Eden, the biggest social media platform in history, buying up every media company you can get your hands on. You don't need to be the only source of news and information. And now, $400 million to build a temple in the Middle East?
It's a nice temple.
Queen of Hearts.
Sir, your 2 o'clock is here.
I suggest you go and give
Jack
serious thought
of
as to what
hearts.
side of the table you want to be sitting on. Something big is coming.
9 of spades.
Trust me. You want to make sure you're on the right team.
King of clubs.
New reality, trying to accept the fact that they may never see those missing loved ones again. Faith in our leaders is gone.
10 of
Frustration
diamonds.
and anger is at an all-time high. Not only have
9
violent
of
crimes risen dramatically,
spades.
but suicides are soaring out of control. But according to mental health experts, there is an
5
explanation to what's
of
going on.
diamonds.
We're going to get into that.
Good
with one of those
decision.
right after the break.
Tonight on GWN.
I have to admit, I was never a big fan of Rayford Steele. His wife, Irene, had tried for years to get him to join us at New Hope. But I guess church just wasn't his thing.
Congratulations!
When she did manage to drag him there, he'd either read the sports news on his phone or grab a quick nap thinking everyone would believe he's praying. Irene had warned them about the rapture over and over again.
Rival
Or at
pass.
least that's how it seemed to him.
JFK Control, this is Pencon 257. We have an emergency. I repeat, we have an emergency.
JFK Control, listen to me. We've lost passengers. People have literally disappeared from the plane at 30,000 feet.
So when half the passengers on his transatlantic flight vanished that night, he knew right away what had happened.
Jack
He may not
of
have fully
hearts.
understood what it meant, but Irene had told him what would happen, and it did.
Ten of spades. King of hearts. Jack of clubs.
And so at least Ray knew one thing for sure. He
10 of
desperately wanted to
clubs.
believe that Irene was right.
I miss you and Raimi so much. It's been hard.
King of clubs.
Just keep thinking about the things I said and did.
Jack of diamonds.
Whether you know how much I love you. I just wish I could see you one
9
more
of
time.
clubs.
But I know I can't.
10 of
Yeah,
spades.
I know I can't.
The world's obsession
10
with the
of
vanishings is
spades.
still in full force, and since we have no answers from our supposed leaders, that's not really a
Queen
surprise.
of clubs.
And while the immediate panic and acute terror may
Good
have passed,
decision.
I don't think anyone can say that the world is not a completely
6
different
of
place now.
clubs.
In the past 6 months, we've seen a dramatic, even shocking increase in virtually every metric
9
of
of
human depravity.
spades.
Compared to the same time last year, murders are up by more than 300%, and suicides are up nearly 1,000%.
2 of
Violent
diamonds.
crime, assault, rape, robbery, vandalism, looting, rioting, they're all shattering records. And mental
9
health
of
experts are
clubs.
telling us that the worst is yet to come. I have with me tonight Dr. Ruby Kincaid, who is leading the multinational investigation
10
into what
of
many are now
clubs.
calling a pandemic of evil. Doctor, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. So I guess we
8
should just
of
get right to the
clubs.
heart of the matter. What's going on?
In the case of the vanishings, there's simply
9
no
of spades.
historical knowledge to draw on. So people are triggered into
King
a
of
prolonged fight or
spades.
flight reaction. There is anger, fear, mistrust, retaliation. Those are powerful emotions, and they need an outlet.
So do you think world leaders and our own government as well should be doing a better job at helping us understand exactly what's happening? I mean, I know we have no idea where those people went.
Congratulations!
Telling everyone to stay at home, stop asking so many questions, I mean, that can't likely be helping.
I think the root cause is not the lack of clear information, but the abundance of misinformation. Our leaders need to do more to stop people from coming up with conspiracy theories.
So, ignorance is bliss.
10 of clubs.
Protecting people from dangerous ideas isn't making them ignorant. We need to make it our priority to keep people safe.
Keep them
Queen
safe
of
from
hearts.
what exactly?
Another wave of vanishings.
What?
10
Hold on.
of
A
diamonds.
second wave of vanishings?
Well, we have been feeding all of the data we've managed to gather about the vanishings into a database. We were then able
5
to
of
use
diamonds.
sophisticated computer algorithms to create predictive models. And those models
Queen
suggest
of
that
hearts.
a second wave is not only possible, it's almost certain.
So, computers figured this out.
That's right.
7 of
Do
spades.
you yourself, personally, believe more people are going to disappear? Or
Queen
do you
of
think that people
clubs.
are just better off scared right now? You know, to keep them more compliant. I mean, we have a problem where people are
9
so
of clubs.
terrified and confused that they're becoming violent and self-destructive. And you think coming
King
on
of
here
clubs.
and scaring them even more is going to somehow make things better?
Are you saying that you know for a fact that it's not going to
6
happen
of
again?
Not at all.
clubs.
Not at all. I have no idea. And I'm starting to suspect that.
Camera
But at least I'm
9
not
of
sitting here
clubs.
pretending like I do.
I am talking about science here. And some of the world's top scientists have studied the data very
2
carefully.
of
And it
diamonds.
Where did it come
suggests-
from?
I'm sorry?
The data. Where did it come from?
All of the
6
data has
of
been
clubs.
verified by the United Nations.
decision.
It's all publicly available in the UN's Vanishing Accountability Project.
I'm asking you, where did they get their information from?
I just told you all of the
Cut it
data
now.
has been
Go on, wrap it up.
verified by
I'm sorry, but I guess that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for coming on. But I do want to encourage our viewers.
Congratulations.
Keep demanding facts. Don't just blindly accept whatever the so-called experts are telling us. And I wouldn't be too quick to sign up for a vanishings vaccine either. I'm Cameron Williams. Up next is Victoria Jordan. We'll see you in a minute.
And we are up.
Who killed that? We were not out of time.
Reset. Back to first position. 5 and 4 minutes.
King of diamonds.
Wow, Captain Steele. It's good to see you.
Queen
Captain,
of spades.
you're aware that we do not encourage unkempt hair for our pilots, are you not?
9 of
I just
clubs.
showered last week.
And these pants, those aren't standard issue, are they? Oh, and the next time we meet, I want to see a shine on those feet.
I'll see what I can do.
Jack
You look
of clubs.
great, Dad.
Hey, and look, it, at least it still fits.
10 of hearts.
Yeah.
So are you thinking of getting into the pilot seat?
Yeah, I was thinking
Queen
maybe
of
I could do a couple
clubs.
runs for FedEx, you know, so I'm not gone for days on end. You know, I always hated being away so much, you know, from
10
you and
of diamonds.
Amy and Mom, so
Plus no passengers.
yeah,
Jack of
plus no
diamonds.
passengers.
Okay, Captain.
I'm hungry. Did you make me breakfast?
Did you make me breakfast?
No. What do you mean? You're the one who's up before me.
All right.
Where's Ivy?
I'm right here.
I can't believe you changed the B-roll without asking me first.
I didn't touch it after you approved it.
I thought you were in the control room.
I was. No one came in. Connor. Don't get Connor fired. He's just a kid.
You think I'm mad at Connor? What's he gonna do, say no to Plank?
I would have.
Yeah, well, sure that's why I didn't ask you.
Or maybe it's because there's only one guy here that knows how to swap the footage in the live broadcast without setting foot in the control room. Did you really think I would change your B-roll in a live show without your approval?
Of course not. Look, I trust
Buck's relentless reporting brought GWN its highest ratings ever.
Seriously?
But it seemed the closer he got to the truth, the more his own network pushed back.
Mr. Williams, I'm so sorry. Ivy had no idea that the B-roll was going to be changed.
Connor, it's fine. I'm sure you weren't really in a position to argue with Mr. Plank, right?
Thank you for understanding, sir.
Be gentle.
You know me better than that. Okay, Steve. I know you have shareholders to appease, but I have a contract, and a pretty good one at that. And it means I don't have to give primetime exposure to crackpot conspiracy theorists like her.
Queen of diamonds.
You're a reporter, Buck. Sometimes that means going outside of your comfort zone and interviewing people that
Jack
you don't
of
always
diamonds.
agree with.
I am happy to talk to anybody with a newsworthy story. It was fear-mongering, Plank. Plain and simple.
5 of diamonds.
Computers. Computers say more people are gonna vanish.
Queen
Well, maybe
of
she
diamonds.
should spend her time trying to find people who already disappeared.
Are you done?
What was up with that B-roll horror show?
7 of clubs.
I thought you'd be pleased. I had our editors and the new kid dig up
9
something
of
a little
hearts.
more sensational.
Sensational? Plank, you showed a video
King of clubs.
terrified and desperate people jumping off of buildings. It's not sensational. It's just sick. And using Connor, I mean, the kid's
Jack
only
of
been here a few
clubs.
months. You're already teaching him the art of fake news?
Come on, wake up, Buck.
9
Our
of
military and our
spades.
police were decimated with the vanishings. Scared people stay in their homes. They lock themselves
6
inside.
of hearts.
And that's what we need right now.
Don't you think that locking people in their homes is going to add to the problem? We grieve by sharing.
8
We have a lot of people
hearts.
that need to deal with the fact that they lost everything that matters. Their wives, their...
7 of hearts.
Yes, Erica.
Did you see
Good
the UN story?
decision.
They're pushing for the Romanian president to be the new Secretary General.
8 of diamonds.
So,
So it's just strange he didn't even ask to be appointed.
Jack
did
of
they
hearts.
overtake the UN by force?
No, he hasn't even made a statement.
Well, then it's not news. So please, go out and find me some news. Buck, the last thing we need right now are the streets overrun with unstable and potentially violent people. So until the authorities can get their arms, their fat arms around this thing, it is our duty to do what we can.
If you think that somehow it's your civic duty to terrify people, I can't stop you. But it's the last time you're going to do it on my show.
10 of
Well, then
hearts.
maybe it's time to think about canceling your show.
Jack of hearts.
Yeah, I think we both know that's not going to happen.
8 of hearts.
Try me.
Queen of diamonds. 9 of clubs. 8 of hearts.
It seems that Chloe Steele spent most of her time haunted, tortured by
6
the memory of
of
her little
clubs.
brother, vanishing right from her arms as she hugged him.
Jack
How could she
of
have done things
spades.
differently? How could she have saved him from whatever it was? She was terrified that he was lost forever
5
and
of
that somehow
spades.
it was her fault.
It has always been my position
9 of
that we should
clubs.
take advantage of every crisis to make the world a better place. With each disaster, storm, or war,
10
comes the
of
opportunity
spades.
for all of us to do better. As our climate gets hotter, as we
9
become
of
more
diamonds.
interconnected, as pandemics race across the globe, something is coming.
King
Some crisis
of diamonds.
will strike all of us. And we should welcome whatever it is with
8
open
of
arms.
diamonds.
Because only then will the world finally come together and create a truly global union.
Jack of
A
clubs.
single world government founded on peace and unity.
Queen of spades. Five of hearts.
Hey, remember that guy Davos last year talking about opportunity and catastrophe?
Well, that was almost all of them.
8 of
Sure.
clubs.
Well, this guy's name's Cawthron. He owns Dominator Analytics, and I think he maybe...
Whoa, let's not do this over the phone. Let's
8
just say
of
it's
spades.
a rabbit hole.
I do love a good rabbit hole. I'm on my way.
Jack of diamonds. Seven of spades. Ten of clubs. Two of diamonds.
Please go. Please let me go. Please let me in. Let me go. Let me in.
Hey,
Raimi.
hey, wake up.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
That must have been quite a dream.
It was just really real. You know, like it was like a nightmare, but it's like I was losing him all over again.
Oh, we all have different ways of dealing with things that we don't understand. But I think it's time to focus on the future. And as hard as it is, we have to stop looking back.
Well, then where am I supposed to look? Because back is where we lost them.
I know. You're not the only one who needs to find a new approach. I mean, we have both been hiding for too long. Mom and Raimi, they're counting on us to do the right thing.
You mean they were counting on us?
No. I mean, they are counting on us.
And what makes you so sure?
Because Mom told us.
Okay. But because Mom said so? That didn't even work when I was 12. Besides, Mom's rapture theory has already been proven wrong.
So, do you think Mom was stupid or just gullible?
What? I never said that.
Then don't you think that we owe her the courtesy of considering the fact that she told us it was going to happen? Sure, it was easy to dismiss it before it happened. But doesn't it seem strange that it's still so easy to dismiss it now? Even though we saw it with our own eyes.
Enter.
Bet you're gonna at least try to stop acting like a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Whoa, who are you calling a conspiracy theorist?
Oh, so you're just admitting to being crazy?
Yes, I'm quite comfortable with that. Shut the door. Here. So, Cawthron,
And his Dominator analytics provides virtually all the raw data the UN compiles, all of it. Surveys, research studies, polls, these guys do it all. And they've got the market cornered.
So you're saying they can just stand up and tell the world anything they want, and they'd be able to back it up with fake stats?
Yep.
What about the vanishings? All those reports about the Earth's total mass not changing that day. Statistics about how many people disappeared, who they were, how they might have been different from the rest of us. Those?
Yep. All of it came through Dominator.
Well, at least we know what Catherine's agenda is. Use a crisis to get us to accept changes that we wouldn't have otherwise. When you have complete control over the narrative like that guy does, I mean, you can turn anything into a crisis.
That's all true. But Catherine's not the guy calling the shots. He's just another suit.
So who's calling the shots?
These are interconnected corporations. 15 television networks, 120 individual stations, almost 300 newspapers. Remember newspapers? Let's see, 2 Hollywood film studios, 14 of the top 20 magazines. Believe it or not, the 2 biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. That's how we got rich off COVID. Oh, here's one you might find interesting. He's your boss.
GWN? No, that's not right. GWN's owned by the Dornan family.
No. Oh, have you ever met the Dornans?
No.
That's because there is no Dornan family. Never was. Jack Dornan never married, didn't have a family. He's been dead for 30 years. All of these companies are run directly or indirectly by one man. Jonathan Stonegell.
Wait, the Eden guy?
One and the same. He's been pushing something called the Great Reset for years. A true New World Order globalist.
I wouldn't have a hard time getting this message out. I mean, what, Eden alone already has 5 billion users?
No, 6.5 now.
Sheesh.
What's amazing is that he tripled his wealth during the COVID pandemic, and he tripled it again in the aftermath of the vanishings. Let's go. So, where were you?
Sorry?
Where were you when it happened?
Oh, I was in a plane halfway across the Atlantic.
Ah, I was right.
About what?
That you would have a cooler story than I do?
Best and worst day of my life.
Way out of your league. Never let a crisis go to waste, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, did her boyfriend disappear?
What? How depraved do you think I am? No, we didn't disappear. He was hit by a driverless bus.
Hang on a sec. Over here, hold this, and keep an eye out.
Oh, it's heavy. Made of lead?
Not made of, no. But coated with. The feds have devices that can download your entire hard drive from 10 feet away.
You ever heard of a safe?
Yeah. It's in the office filing cabinet, bolted to the floor. Let's go. You know, one day I'm gonna stumble into the wrong minefield, and the feds are gonna clean up my office, including the safe.
What are they gonna find?
A hard drive full of encrypted files. And if they keep at it long enough, they'll crack the encryption and get the grand prize.
Which is what?
30 seasons of The Simpsons.
That's gonna tick him off.
Oh, maybe not. It's Blu-ray.
Chloe couldn't help but wonder if her dad was right. What if Mom and Raimi were lost because of something in that book? All she could do was wish her mom had never opened that stupid Bible in the first place. Buck and Chloe met on the day of the rapture. Buck had been a passenger on that flight piloted by Ray. Many romantics would say it was fate that brought Buck and Chloe together. But I now know that there was a far greater force at work. They needed to be together. God had a plan.
I don't know. It's not just about blank, though. It's a whole network, whole business, really. I honestly don't even want to do it anymore.
Were you kidding? You have the biggest audience in cable news.
Yeah, well, that would be a good thing if I didn't have to put air quotes around the word news.
Hey, look at these people, right? They know who you are. They trust you. They trust you even if they've never met you.
See, that's the problem. They trust me to tell them the truth. But news, it's no longer about truth. It's about a message. And facts don't even matter anymore. I go on that show every single night and lie to them as if we're too afraid they can't handle the truth.
I bid 2.
Yeah.
I bid 3. I bid 2.
I used to love my job.
Ace of hearts.
I was an investigative journalist for 10 years.
10
You know what
of
I did?
hearts.
I investigated things that needed to be
3 of
investigated.
hearts.
And then I actually told people about what I
6
found.
of hearts. 4 of diamonds.
Now I'm more like an actor.
Ace of
I do
diamonds.
my lines, and depending
3
on
of diamonds.
whatever story we decide to report, I
2
try to
of
convince
diamonds.
the world that things are
King
way
of
better
hearts.
or far worse than they actually
Queen
are.
of hearts.
I just feel like my audience is smarter
Jack
than that, you know?
of hearts.
They're not a bunch of religious wackos
2
who are
of
only
hearts.
looking for easy answers and don't require facts
Jack
or 2
of
seconds
clubs.
of their own thought.
Ace
Wackos
of
like my mom.
clubs.
Chloe, no, I didn't mean that. I
2
just-
of
I'm trying to
clubs.
process everything.
3 of clubs.
Are you seeing this?
King of diamonds.
Second wave.
5
Here we go.
of diamonds. 7 of hearts.
I think I need to get to
10
the studio.
of diamonds.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
9 of
I'll
diamonds.
call you later.
Queen of diamonds.
Although there are plenty of rumors and internet
3
chatter,
of
tracking down
spades.
eyewitnesses
Spades
has actually
broken.
been harder than
7
we
of
expected.
diamonds.
One notable witness was apparently Senator Arthur Brandon,
8
but
of hearts.
while he has issued a statement, he has so far
9
been
of
unwilling
hearts.
to speak to the media. In fact,
2 of
we've been having a
spades.
hard time tracking down anyone who's actually witnessed a
7
new
of
vanishing.
spades.
It's like everybody knows there was a second wave, but nobody's actually seen it happen.
King of clubs.
So, Anna, while we wait for
7
our
of
coverage of the UN
clubs.
press conference, what do you think about all this?
6
I believe
of
him.
clubs.
He's a senator and he's a
4
good man.
of clubs.
Why would one of our own government officials make something like that up?
Ace
Just
of
to scare
spades.
us? It's ridiculous.
Well, just like last time, I mean,
5
there weren't
of
any
spades.
reports of unusual activity in the skies or around the Earth's
10
orbit.
of
So,
spades.
are you still sticking with the
4
UFO theory?
of spades.
Of course. What else could have done something like this?
Many of the scientists I spoke to
9 of
seem to think that
clubs.
this is not the first time these vanishings
Queen
have happened
of
on this
clubs.
planet.
Certainly the first time any of us noticed.
But we're
5
talking
of
millions
hearts.
of years ago, long before
5
people
of
were
clubs.
recording history. In fact, it's probably why there are gaping holes in the
King
fossil
of
record showing the
spades.
totality of human evolution.
Well,
9
maybe
of
UFOs have been here many
spades.
times.
Then why has nobody seen them?
6
You
of
just
spades.
said there was no one here to report the visits millions
Queen
of years
of
ago.
spades.
Okay, Reverend Pincus, what do you think? I mean, you originally stated that the
8
vanishings
of
were
clubs.
the Christian rapture. I mean, is that so
4
right?
of hearts.
That's true. It was actually a bit scary.
10 of clubs.
But so many Christians are still here, including hundreds
6
from my
of
own
diamonds.
church, that well, there's no way that it could have been the rapture. Now,
Jack
that doesn't
of
mean that
diamonds.
God didn't have his hand in it, though. The Bible
8
does
of
teach that
diamonds.
God will send a powerful delusion
Jack
in the last
of
days.
spades.
And I personally believe that
8
this
of
whole
spades.
vanishing thing is part of that.
Well, let's all try our best not to add to those delusions.
What about you, Buck? What do you think?
Well, the way I
Nil
see it,
bid.
there's only one explanation that
bid.
doesn't require an appeal to an
I bid
imaginary
6.
power or unseen force.
I bid 4.
It's simply a new technology. I mean, you'd think we'd stop being so surprised at what the human race is
10
capable of
clubs.
creating at this point. We all watch people disappear
5
on Star
of
Trek growing up.
clubs.
Communicators, translators,
King
androids,
of
robots, they're all
clubs.
realities now. So
Ace
why not the
of
transporter beam?
clubs.
So you're saying this is a man-made weapon?
I never said it was a weapon.
6
I said
of
technology.
hearts.
Arthur C. Clarke once said that any sufficiently
4
advanced
of hearts.
technology is indistinguishable from
5
magic.
of hearts.
What I take away from that is We don't need to
King
look
of
for magic
Hearts.
just because we don't understand how something works.
Queen of
I just got a report
clubs.
that we are about to begin our coverage of the UN press conference.
6 of clubs.
Less than a year
9
ago,
of clubs.
if someone had told me that millions of people were just going to
2
disappear,
of clubs.
I, like you, would have said they were crazy. Fast forward to today,
Jack of clubs.
and the unimaginable has become real.
8 of clubs.
And with the news that the vanishings were
4
not simply
of
a
clubs.
one-time event, we should all be reminded that we
Ace
have no
of
choice
diamonds.
but to face this unprecedented threat together.
9 of diamonds.
Not as individual nation states divided by rivers or
Jack of
mountains or
diamonds.
thousands of years of war,
10 of
but as one people,
diamonds.
united at
8
last.
of diamonds.
Fellow citizens
7
of the world,
clubs.
welcome to
3
the
of
future.
clubs.
Welcome to a new reality.
6 of
A
diamonds.
great reset where we move from a tribal
2
mentality
of spades.
to a united and
Spades
unstoppable
broken.
force, ready to face any challenge because there is
King
no
of
greater
spades.
power in the universe than a
3
unified
of spades.
human race.
Jack of spades.
As you already know,
4 of
the
spades.
second wave of vanishings, even though the extent is not yet known, has thrown the financial
Queen of
markets back into chaos. And while the major stock exchanges
7
quickly
of
closed,
spades. 6 of spades.
the losses were already catastrophic from
7
panic selling
of
in every
diamonds.
country in the world. The World Monetary
10
Fund has
of
also issued a
spades.
formal warning that more than
Ace of
100
spades.
countries will likely
King
be
of
bankrupt within
diamonds.
60 days. And within a year,
Queen
more than
of
90% of the
diamonds.
world's citizens will be living in poverty. Fortunately,
5 of diamonds.
we have a solution.
4
there it
of
was.
diamonds.
Surreal moment to say the least.
Jack of hearts.
One of the most powerful men on the planet
8
standing in
of
front of the
hearts.
world and promising a one world economy, a one world currency,
2
and a
of
path to
diamonds.
peace and prosperity. Exactly the
Ace of
system the
hearts.
Bible told us was coming. And
3 of
unsurprisingly,
hearts.
the people, and especially the news media, just
Queen
gobbled
of
it up.
hearts.
Today, under emergency conditions and with a nearly unanimous consent,
3
the United
of
Nations has
diamonds.
voted to approve and mandate
10
the
of
electronic
hearts.
payment technology known as OTF,
7 of hearts.
created by Israeli Nobel Prize winner
5
Dr.
of
Chaim
spades.
Rosenzweig. Now, the reason I'm part of this announcement
8
is that
of
Eden,
spades.
the largest social media platform ever, has
9
agreed
of spades.
to make all our resources available
2
to the
of
UN
hearts.
free of charge in order to ensure that
9
we can
of
implement
hearts.
Eden Pay worldwide in a matter of weeks.
Congratulations!
Let me introduce the inventor of on-the-mark digital technologies, Dr. Chaim Rosenzweig.
What? You'll be the first interview.
Cue Braxton. Ready studio in 3, 2, 1.
Dr. Rosenzweig, so good to see you again. Mr. Stonegal, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. Now, this is a lot bigger news than I think most people actually realize. I mean, Mr. Stonegal, you must have jumped through a lot of hoops to get this to where it is at the UN, correct?
Well, there are some very smart people in extremely powerful positions around the world, and they see the need and wisely recognize Eden Pay as the best solution.
Now, you said that you had essentially unanimous support from the UN membership. Can I assume that essentially unanimous is different from unanimous?
Well, a few of the members have questions, and that's to be expected. Fortunately, none that we can't answer.
Do you mind telling us who the holdouts are?
All nations have formally agreed with 2 exceptions, Romania and Israel.
Interesting. Dr. Rosenzweig, I'm a little confused by that. Why would Israel be holding out? I mean, isn't Eden built on Israeli technology?
Israel has not signed the agreement yet because there are deal terms to be negotiated.
Are those financial terms?
Oh, no, nothing of that sort. There are other issues involved, including ongoing peace talks. We want to ensure that Eden ushers in an era of peace for Israel, and indeed for the entire world.
So we actually have peace in the Middle East as a deal term. Wow.
No. No way. Could you just get the victim to come on camera and... No? All right, then we'll go with the fake Jesus guy. Make sure you get him on camera, taking credit for the new vanishings. Look, I gotta go. I gotta walk the dog. What's it to you? Goodbye.
Tough day at the Ministry of Truth?
Can't you tell that I'm not in the mood?
Hate to be the one to break